is a big setback for members of the Congress party who'd levelled allegations against Smriti Irani as well as her daughter over the show cause notice sent to a certain restaurant in Goa. A copy of the Delhi High Court order in the Goa bar dispute case has now been uploaded by the Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani. And the court has accepted on the basis of documents that there's no bar license in the name of Mrs. Irani or her daughter, nor does she own a restaurant or a bar. The daughter of Smriti Irani never even applied for a license. These are some of the operative portions of the Delhi High Court order. Let me go across to Pranesh for more on this. Pranesh, if you could just read out the operative portions, which will, of course, deliver a setback to the Congress in this defamation case against them.
It's a big setback for the Congress party and massive vindication for Union Minister Smriti Irani. Let's get to the operative bit here on the order. Point number 38, considering the documents on record, it is clearly seen that there was no license which was ever issued in favor of the plaintiff or her daughter. The plaintiff or her daughter are not the owners of the restaurant. It has also been established by the plaintiff prima facie that the plaintiff or her daughter never applied for license. The court says it has been established by the plaintiff prima facie that they had never applied for the license. Neither the restaurant nor the land on which the restaurant exists is owned by the plaintiff or her daughter. Even the show cause notice issued by the government of Goa is not on the name of plaintiff or her daughter. All these facts have been affirmed in the affidavit by the plaintiff. Then the next point, Siddharth, the plaintiff has been able to make out a prima facie case. Balance of convenience also lies in favor of the plaintiff and against the defendants. I am satisfied that if the defamatory allegations and contents linked to it is allowed to remain on the internet and social media platforms, then the extent of damage to the plaintiff could be of immense magnitude. And let me just highlight this point here.
Yes.
After saying that the plaintiff, in this case Smriti Irani, and her daughter have prima facie been able to establish that they neither own the place nor the land, had never applied for the license, nor was the show cause issued in their name. The court says I am satisfied that if the defamatory allegations and contents linked to it is allowed to remain on the internet and social media platform, then the extent of damage to the plaintiff could be of immense magnitude and injurious to the reputation of the plaintiff and her family.
Absolutely, Pranesh. In the subsequent paragraph, there's a specific direction to once again remove the concerned tweets and, of course, also the video link of the press conference that the Congress party had held about this.
That's right. That's point number 40. It says, in view of the aforesaid, I deem it expedient to pass an ad interim injunction directing defendant number 1, 2 and 3 to delete and remove the allegations. Video of the impugned press conference dated 23/7/2022 and the contents linked to the same as set out in the document 2 and 3 of the plaint published against the plaintiff from all social media platforms, and the platforms have been named YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
Right. Many thanks for taking us through that operative portion of the very significant order by the Delhi High Court there. Let me go across to Neelashish as well, who's been monitoring this quite closely. Neelashish, a big setback here to those specific individuals from the Congress party who'd level these allegations against Smriti Irani because their comments have now been considered prima facie defamatory by the Delhi High Court.
Well, yes, absolutely. In this case, the Delhi High Court did summon Jairam Ramesh Pawan Khera, and has been stated in the order copy that clearly at this point, the prima facie case that has been made out by Smriti Irani is that she had never even applied for those licenses. And in that regard, given the fact that right to reputation is held in the highest of esteem, as the court has said in its order copy, in that situation, to protect one's right to life under Article 21, it seems that her defamation suit will hold water, will hold ground. Now, what the court has also gone on to say is that it seems fairly clear that the restaurant or bar in question, Silly Souls, was not really owned by Smriti Irani or her daughter, and to put out allegations of that nature when considering that the plaintiff, or Smriti Irani in this case, is an esteemed member of the society and a part of the Union Cabinet of Ministers. In that situation, reputation is something that is of tantamount importance. Now, this 2 crore defamation suit that has been filed by Smriti Irani, in that case, now a summons have been issued. The matter will be taken up in November. But very, very telling order coming in from the Delhi High Court, wherein it has been said that it does not seem that that Smriti Irani or her daughter even applied for that license, and that is something that they have shown prima facie.
Let me take this to Pranesh as well. Nilashish, Pranesh, following the previous order that was issued by the Delhi High Court, Jairam Ramesh had come out and said that he has all the documents at his disposal to prove that there was some wrongdoing done on the part of Smriti Irani, but this latest order will in fact puncture a lot of those claims.
Absolutely. This totally calls out the fakery, if I can use the word, because the court in its order is saying that the Congress leaders were not able to substantiate any of the claims that they made in the news conference, in the press conference they held. 4 main points of the order. Here is point number 1. The plaintiff or her daughter are not the owners of the restaurant or the property upon which it is situated. Here's point number 2. The plaintiff or her daughter are neither running nor operating the restaurant or any bar in Goa. Point number 3. No license for the restaurant has ever been applied for or granted to the plaintiff or the plaintiff's daughter. And point number 4, Siddharth, no show cause notice has ever been received by the plaintiff or plaintiff's daughter. Remember, this is the point that was highlighted, underlined at the Congress press conference, where Congress leaders said that a show cause notice was issued. Smriti Irani subsequently held a press conference and dared the Congress party to come out and prove. She said, show me the show cause that mentions my daughter's name. And now the High Court going on to back the claims made by Smriti Irani. Point number 23 is important too. The plaintiff also served legal notice. However, no reply was given by the defendant number 1, 2, 3, nor any documents with respect to various allegations made by the defendant number 1, 2, 3 during the press conference were ever produced in order to substantiate their allegations against the plaintiff and her family members. It is submitted that the defendant number 1, 2, 3 have indulged in character assassination of the plaintiff and her family at the highest level. Strong words used in this copy. It has been averred that all documents and information pertaining to the ownership of the restaurant, the property upon which it is situated, and the license applied and granted for the restaurant are in public domain, but those documents do not have the name of Smriti Irani or Smriti Irani's daughter. Siddharth.
And if you could just stay on the operative portions of the order, and if you could just scroll up to paragraph number 30, and this is extremely damning as far as the credibility of the Congress's accusations is concerned. In fact, let me go across to Amit Malviya first for his official response to this. Mr. Malviya, strong observations being made by the Delhi High Court over the allegations made against Mrs. Irani, calling them prima facie defamatory.
Well, it was clear from day one that the charges leveled by the Congress party were not correct. But it is quite surprising that the Congress chose to use their party platform to settle scores with Smriti Irani ji and her daughter just because she took down Rahul Gandhi in Amethi and he had to eventually run to Wayanad. This is a new law in Indian politics when you target minor children of your political opponents. And the Congress should remember that not every politician's child is a delinquent like Rahul Gandhi is. So clearly, Smriti Irani and several other BJP leaders groom their children well enough so that they can be on their own. They don't need to lean on their parents and do dubious things like the Congress leaders and their children do. This must be a lesson for the Congress party. But again, I reiterate, the path taken by the Congress party in this instance is not a good one, and it may eventually turn out to be an unpleasant one for the Congress party.
Thanks for your response there, Mr. Malviya. I'll go back once again to Pranesh Kumar Roy, who has the order with him. And Pramesh, paragraph 30 is extremely scathing because it does mention the word slander and also the fact that these allegations leveled against Mrs. Irani are bogus. If you could just take us through that.
That's right. The court says in as many words that the allegations were never substantiated, not a shred of evidence or any document was produced by the defendants in this case. Here is point number 30, Siddharth. After perusing the various documents and after hearing the learned senior counsel for the plaintiff, I am of the considered view that statements made by defendant number 1, 2, 3 are in the nature of slander. This is the word that the court is using and seem to be bogus with malicious intent only to garner highest amount of viewership, thereby intentionally subjecting the plaintiff to a greater public ridicule. This is especially in view of the fact that despite legal notice issued on behalf of the plaintiff, the defendant,
Absolutely, Pranesh.
1, 2, 3, could never come up with any document to
Thanks
substantiate
for taking us through
claim.
that. Of course, scathing allegations being debunked by the Delhi High Court pretty much there that were leveled by the Congress against Mrs. Smriti Irani.